Welcome to Witches of Three.
Speak free. Speak free. Talking about witches. Talking about Sabbats. Talking about Sabbats.
I'm sure this isn't your first go around with us, so just be prepared for the bumpy ride because that's what we are. Rogue as fuck. So today is going to be about the Wheel of the Year. And so this is probably the most traditional thing that we do, is that we do all celebrate the pagan Sabbats, along with Christian holidays and whatever other holidays we want to celebrate.
We celebrate anything that we can.
Celebrate any chance to, to celebrate and get together and party. We're going to do that.
Yep.
But we're coming up on Mabon. Which is kind of poignant for us, as that was our first Sabbat that we celebrated together as empowering goddesses. Mm-hmm. That was our first official retreat, even though it was just a day. It was like a day camp type of thing. We got to take over Peace of Mind bookstore for a whole day. Mm-hmm. And, as Kyla recalled, I didn't recall so much that we did some kind of deep work that day too.
Yeah, the letters to yourself.
Even though even though it was fun, it was a lot of communion and getting together. We always, even when we are getting together to just have fun and party and release, there's still deep work that we do.
It's always healing stuff.
We always have something. There's so many that will, like I said, we're gonna have an inside joke show eventually. But like we say the Franzia days, there's lots of things that we'll say that you'll come to know that we
need some
we believe that the healing comes in all forms. And so Mabon was really special for us. We got to have like a sweat lodge led by Star. Who is ordained to do sweat lodge. We did this in the steam room at Aquarian Age Massage.
It was beautiful.
We had a belly dance class. We did these letters to our
former selves.
It was so with this Wheel of the Year, one of the first books that we did, the second book also paired up with this, but we did like the phases of women through the wheel. And we had our Amazon selves, our warrior self, right to our inner child.
Yeah, that's what
the advice that she needed.
Yeah.
And
it was powerful.
Gosh,
it was so powerful.
Oh my gosh, that was one of our first.
It was transformative.
Anyway, we're going to talk about
and there are other stories that go along with time.
We're actually, our next episode is going to be the Mabon party, so we'll talk more about that. So
there was a lot.
Before Mabon, though, we wanted to explain what the wheel was.
Yes.
Because it's super important, and that's how this magic of empowering goddesses and all this started was the study of the wheel.
Yeah, it's the phases of the moon in the northern hemisphere, and so all the indigenous cultures ascribed essentially kind of the same ideas behind all these phases of the moon as we spun around and the seasons transpired here in the northern hemisphere. So we get a lot of energy work and magic that corresponds to these times of the year, just because of where we're at, cosmically and astrologically. So even though we use a lot of European definitions, because this is the European wheel, this is what comes from Britain and Ireland and Scotland. That's this tradition. Now, other traditions had different names for these. Native Americans also celebrate these different times of the year. They call them something different. Hindus celebrate this different time of the year. They call this stuff something different. What we know, because most of us have European heritage, we just do whatever you want with that. We have European heritage.
Take it, Leah.
Take it however you want. It's where it comes from.
I'm working on it myself.
We're all healing.
We're all part of the path.
Yeah.
It's part of the path.
Listen, we're going to talk about all that too. So.
But we do all have ancestors that are from here, that came here, that were from these places where this was the religion. This was what they celebrated. It wasn't a system. It was more of a celebration of the different places that you're on the wheel. And so
this
you do different shit.
This is how they took time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Basically.
Yeah, there wasn't November. You were in Samhain season.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's
Yule
all around
season. Yeah.
food. It's all of it's about
Well,
food.
there's definitely a heavy food aspect
It's
because
a
this
food
is about
aspect.
Let me just say, everything with witches has to revolve around food, the harvest,
Yeah.
the planting,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because that's life,
Where are
right?
you at in the cycle?
It's the
Yeah.
ultimate
Where are you at in the
manifestation
cycle?
and
Yeah.
what feeds us.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is how they kept time. This is what they knew. Ostara is when they knew, Imbolc is when they got ready to plant. The light was getting ready to return.
Yep.
Um,
Coming the
and
teenager.
at this point, we're going to show you a screenshot of the wheel so you can get a better idea of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting ready to go into Mabon, but there's 8, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's 8 Sabbats. There's 4 really special ones. So
Yes.
not everyone celebrates all of them.
Yeah.
There's 8, but there's 4 special ones, and they're called fire Sabbats.
Yeah.
While Mabon is not one of those, Samhain, which is coming next, which as
Yes.
we know is Halloween, is. But Mabon is, I loved it because this is how we started, and it's known as like the witches' Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the end of the harvest when everyone comes together
Yeah. Bring in
and
the crops.
and this is, we didn't always celebrate all of them, but like
We started with Mabon.
but we always
We celebrate
celebrated Mabon.
Mabon.
Yeah.
Like we always like brought the food,
Yeah.
and we always
Yeah.
got together.
Ate whatever people brought.
And Mabon is when the sun is it's traveling back. It's traveling to where it's going
Yeah.
away from us.
Yeah.
And when we have, so Ostara is the same, but it's in spring. It's like the exact opposite of the wheel.
Yeah. It's
So
the starting.
everyone in the southern hemisphere is getting ready to celebrate that, while we getting ready to celebrate Mabon. But when you have one of those mid shifts, it's really about like getting your life in order, in balance.
For the coming months of like real serious introversion, because when you in the northern hemisphere, when you go into those months, it's all about self-reflection. So how are you going to go into that? What are you going to look at? And
There's a reason why you want to hibernate. I mean,
Yes.
besides the cold, but it is the dark time. It is when
Yes.
and that is the retreat into the
Yeah.
cave. That
Yeah.
is the inner work.
yeah,
Things start to die.
It's why in September you want to clean your house.
Yes.
And, Virgo season.
It's also,
but-
I was going to say,
Yeah,
Virgo season too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to organize, you want to clean your house, you want to get everything ready so that you can celebrate and
Yeah.
hibernate and be
Yeah.
internal.
Yep.
And that speaks to a lot right now, just globally what we're going through and what's going to transpire with this global thing that's going on. Mabon is super poignant and powerful right now for that reason, is that we do need to take stock of what we have in our
Yes.
homes,
Yes.
and in our spaces, and be
celebrate
grateful
family.
and celebrate gratitude and abundance, so that we can carry those things through.
yeah,
And one of the best things about manifesting is sharing your abundance.
Yes.
Getting together and sharing your.
Yeah.
This is why we don't understand Wiccas, because it even says you share, and that's
Yeah.
how you get knowledge. That's what most of these are about. Mabon, everyone has the harvest. They all come together and show what they brought. Yule, that's the end when everyone is almost to nothing, but everyone comes together and
Yeah.
huddles for
Pulls
warmth
all
and
of their
eats
shit
whatever,
together.
Yeah.
and eats what they have.
We
Like,
make what's left.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ostar is the beginning. There's fresh stuff. There's eggs.
Yeah.
Like that's
it's about food.
what's the joke about the witch's wheel? We have like 4 high holidays dedicated
Yeah.
to bread.
Bread.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like-
yes.
But
Exactly.
I mean, they're great metaphors for like
Yeah.
manifestation and life and
just
growth.
follows the energy of this planet that we're on, and that's such a part of,
I want bread.
yeah.
This is bad, guys.
This
We
is-
can't start talking about
or
the food.
taters.
Are you doing keto?
Yes.
So am
damn
I.
it.
Oh,
I know.
So am
God
I.
bless you.
Brussels
Hey,
sprouts
hey.
and bacon.
Right.
Brussels sprouts and bacon, mine.
What
favorite.
what's your favorite? What's your favorite wheel or spoke?
Oh man, I really, really love Yule. I love that.
You do love you.
You
I
Yeah.
do.
You and Star.
Me
Yeah.
and Star. I love the idea that energetically, because everything is so still here on our planet, in our vibration, because we've already gone through this high holiday right here, and
Samhain is what you pointed at.
and a lot of that has come to a head, and but Yule is more of a celebration.
We're still
And,
here.
Yeah,
We
we're
made
still
it,
here. And it's a celebration of what kind of brings us all together.
Food.
Yeah.
Also the
It
light.
is.
But it's also
and
the light.
Yeah,
and the light.
the light.
Yeah. It's the light that it's gonna, it's really the idea.
You make your own light because you know the light's
and community
returning.
too. Community provides that light because, like Shannon said, everybody has to get together and share their food because you got a little ways until you're starting harvesting the eggs. So, and, these celebrations were at specific times of the year for a reason.
Yeah.
We need to eat.
What's your favorite?
It's really hard because everyone wants. Samhain is you find your power. You really connect. When we go into the darkness, the veil is lifted. It's easier. This is why you start getting nostalgic at this time and start But y'all know I got married at Beltane, and I had like the best ass wedding that could ever fucking exist.
Listen, if there was a video somewhere, we would share it, but the video there shouldn't be because
we didn't.
It was Beltane for sure.
It was a purge and Beltane.
It was the beginning. I think I know we had many beginnings, but to me that was the beginning of us going like outwards from the store and working together. Because what happened was my fiance asked me to marry me, or asked to marry, and I was scared because I was still going through my trauma healing and wasn't sure I deserved that or whatever. But then I finally said yes, but I had no idea when to do it. And one of our hardcore girls, TT, which will you hear?
You'll hear about TT.
She'll be a guest on our show.
She was like, you have to do Beltane. And I had never heard of Beltane. I thought I had studied the wheel. I probably had. Maybe I just referred to it as May Day. A lot of us say that. But she was like, you just have to. And I was like, okay, what is it? And she was like, 2 months. And I was like, bet! But then I read more about it, and I was like, okay, with the path that I am accepting and like going towards, and my husband, like, this just seems the perfect time to say, hey, I'm just gonna go with the universe. I'm not gonna swim upstream and fight everything anymore. I'm just gonna go with the flow and work with the flow, and my life has been amazing since then.
And that Beltane happened to fall during Mercury retrograde.
It did.
And there is a sign that still hangs in our store, will never leave, that says "fuck retrograde." That was the greeting sign when you got to the farm where Kyla got married. And we literally did say "fuck retrograde," and we built the most beautiful, like collectively, like everyone came together.
Yes, that's
and
true.
Built this beautiful.
It was very
amazing.
From what I was like. Yeah. From what I was experiencing, it was I really wanted to take this. Oh, I'm finally finding my tribe and my community, my team, and I want all their energy into it. I'm not trying to say like, oh, you got to work, but everything was handmade and had love, and like I kind of had a plan, but it was loose, and it was like whatever happens, like I'm going to, which was not who I used to be at all. But since then, like that's the ultimate testament to me that like, oh man, like just go with the flow.
Yeah,
like so the universe like knows.
You trusting, like that was like your beautiful like
it was like
moment.
It was.
And she was just like, I'm gonna have my day, and I just trust that
just had fun.
Beautiful women will make everything beautiful, and everything was absolutely captivatingly beautiful, and the energy was insane and beautiful.
I had so much fun.
We started the day. We started the wedding day with Michelle leading us all in these beautiful flowered gowns in a meditation around
the maypole.
It was
those photos. We're gonna have to put up those photos.
They were. It was magical. So Beltane is definitely your holiday, and as the maiden, it's just fitting that's your thing.
No, I know. But I'm also like I'm very much like the life or death witch. Yes. So that's why it's like I love new life, but I know that we can't have it without death. Samhain, it's very, and that's because of this practice, and that's what's healed me is like the balance. So I'm very, but I love them all. I'm a holiday whore, like, to be honest. Like, any reason to get together
and decorate, and
This one falls on my birthday, so I have that like
we
connection.
We have really good times.
Ostara,
that's when so
all the
Ostara
spring
is the beginning.
birthdays.
Yeah.
Well, we planted a lot of business seeds during Ostara.
Yes, we did.
Like that's
our kids sacrificed a chocolate bunny. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have so much fun.
So for me, it's really Samhain and Yule.
Yule's
Samhain is just I'm my aesthetic. I've always been a Halloween whore. I start
Hollywood Halloween
yes
whore.
Yeah, I literally I'm like
Whore.
Halloween
With an
leggings
H.
are purchased
Whore.
as soon as they come out. Halloween decor is a staple in my house. I'm definitely that's definitely my time of year. I love the fall. I love cool weather. I like to burn shit. So Samhain is definitely the one that but at Christmas time, and now my fiance's birthday is on Christmas, so it's a special time of the year. For Yule, for me, like anything that you can like decorate, get fancy, make food, like I'm there for it. Samhain though, for me, like I said, I work with the other side. I'm an ancestral witch, so I definitely work with the other side a lot. So for me, that's like the height of my magic. That's when I feel the most connected to doing magic. That's when you'll see, me actively working magic, from what I'm wearing to like writing sigils on my body. Like I'm very active during that time of year. The end of the year for
everyone should be. Like honestly, that is a very
that's when it starts.
Yeah.
Well, Mabon is really when it starts.
Yeah.
And then it just like builds.
Well, that's when we like accept part of the dark.
Yeah.
Like a Mabon is really it's a good time for shadow work.
Summer is over.
Thank
Get
God.
ready for the shift.
Thank Goddess. Thank God. Thank whoever the fuck is in control.
We're in
Okay,
Oklahoma.
so that's
For
a
those
wonderful
of you that
transition.
Don't know, we're in Oklahoma. Summer is fucking hot.
Yes, but summer is over, and so with Mabon and that time, everyone loves a good tea. And we have recently, I don't know if you've made it out to Spiritworks, but we've recently started selling herbs as well, and we started packaging them to make our own tea brands, and which is a 3 astral tea. Get ready to take flight, bitches. This ain't no joke.
This is the real deal, and it's beautiful, by the way. Like, you can't not feel magical when the thing that's in your cup is magical.
Sometimes
serving.
you have to do, sometimes it's all about how you how it
makes you feel. Like, I mean, like I said, they call me the Hollywood witch not for a reason. I'm vain, and so one of the things that helps me feel powerful is when I feel beautiful, and this tea makes you feel beautiful, and makes you feel magical because it is beautiful. And that's what you get to see is the aesthetic is also magical. And herbs, the natural beauty of herbs, and then what they do on top of that. Like, how can you miss that?
Such a good connection. But we have we're going to have a special unlock for you that is a little tea spell, what we talk about a lot, making the mundane magic, the everyday, just this little simple thing to do. It is really good right now with the Sun in Virgo to like start like routine. Start certain things.
Build your
that
routines.
really
Get back in sync. Get back in sync with yourself, making rituals.
It's the best time of year.
Little tea in the morning, little tea at night. And we'll tell you how to set a little spell, but really taking care of yourself. Again, what we talk about, look at where Virgo is on your chart. But this really is a time for just balance, getting stuff in order, and really making sure you're connected and okay, because we're going to the dark. We're going down. Going downtown.
Going down.
I'm not going to sing because you don't want me to do that.
Why don't you ever sing? Michelle and I sing all the time.
What
the hell? They're all going to die from COVID.
No!
Also, arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor.
Yes.
Breonna Taylor. Talking about chest hair.
Why do you always...
She's going to ruin it every time.
She's a very nervous person.
She is. Yeah, this is nerves.
I just like to fuck with shit.
Right. So, we make these teas. We have herbs. We're here to, as the wheel moves, we'll continue to have things that commemorate that. We also usually do a dress candle for every Sabbat that comes from us.
Amy, we've talked about her candles.
Yes,
Meriwether.
Amy also does.
She always does a Sabbat or some sort of candle for sure.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that this is a kind of a way to just kind of keep in touch, just like the moon phases. This is another way to keep you in the cycle with the year. And as you know, when we move through patterns, that helps sync us.
Yes.
As long as they're patterns that we impose on ourselves, not patterns from outside influences. So that's why we choose, like I said, we don't celebrate every single one.
But these are natural patterns found in our earth. Once you start following them, you'll resonate with them. Like, when Osara comes, I'm always ready for new projects.
Yeah.
I got bright ideas. Beltane, I'm ready to put them down. That's my birthday, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm, you know. Mabon, by this time, I really need to figure out like. Summer's been hard. Summer tends to be hard, you know.
Connect with other people going into the dark months, you know.
Yeah, that's why
Community,
the holidays are
about community.
The holidays are so amazing in the dark
Other
months.
people, the only
you
way
know?
you're going to get through the dark months is with other people. And that's
Yep.
metaphorically, symbolically, literally. That's the only way you get
Call
through.
the ancestors.
Yeah.
Call your real
Call
people.
your fucking real people, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's how
Oh,
it
yeah.
starts. Like you get your team together. Like this is how we can. Like, what do I need?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm calling in my
Extra team.
You know,
Then everybody
working with your
celebrates.
ancestors it's it, people.
Yeah, it's exponential. Like, I mean,
It's it.
you know, some of us have ancestry that maybe isn't so beautiful. Or that we have trouble.
I've been wanting to talk to you about
yeah,
this.
having trouble connecting with. You know, as I said, I'm a root worker, and that has some other connotations. But as someone who definitely works with their ancestors, what I've learned is that there is a time and a season and a place for everything. But I also know that when they are on the other side, they are different energies. And it's why the ancestors that we work with are not necessarily your grandpa or your Uncle Jimmy. You know, they're usually people that you've never met or didn't know. I recently discovered an ancestor who I know that I've been working with for a very long time, but I finally saw a picture of her.
Right.
And I know she's been with me, and chills. You know, it was exponentially valuable to me to realize that I had an ancestor that I do have a connection with. There's tons of them who did terrible, awful things in this world who I don't feel any connection to. So don't discount your ancestry just because it may not be beautiful.
Right.
I have recently. I want to talk about this in your class.
Yeah.
Which again, we offer classes, and
Yes.
Shanna's teaching a wonderful anti-racist class. In my ancestor work, I have found that because yes, I'm very white, but there's a lot of me that is not. I won't name what all that is here because I don't need to. But I've realized that there was a problem with my ancestors and the colonizers, and me working through that and towards that healing has been. I mean, I can't say it. Like, it has really changed so much.
It rips things from you. Like, this is the real work, is when you really go back and, you know, people talk about past lives and all that kind of hullabaloo. And, you know,
hullabaloo.
We really, you know what I mean? Like, not that I don't believe that I have past lives that aren't connected to this particular line.
But it's your fucking family.
But
That's
I do believe that, like, you know, we experience things through DNA as well. So our ancestry is very much a real thing. We talk about ancestral trauma a lot. But, you know, when we're talking about Samhain and we're bringing those people in, especially right now with so much tumultuous things happening, you know, with division in the world, I want you to know that, you know, even if you find that your ancestry leads you down a path that you're not so proud of, there will be tokens in there. There will be people that were not connected to that. So keep guiding yourself towards what serves you, because that's obviously not your path. So just because you are ancestrally connected to someone does not mean that you have to carry that energy. You get to move through that energy. You get to heal it, as long as on this plane you're working on a different ball field. So, you know, again, you know, we talk about ancestral things, and Samhain brings that up, you know, as we're going into that time.
And we're gonna have more specials for Samhain for sure. We're definitely gonna touch on some cool things. So that's after Mabon. And anything else you want to say about the wheel? Or are we getting ready to?
I think we're good. And we'll, like I said, we'll continually come back to the wheel, because like
we always will.
We'll do Samhain, we'll do Yule. We'll do Imbolc.
Oh, can you the book?
The Women's Wheel.
Oh, okay. So the class that started all of this, which we've talked about a few times, is Empowering Goddesses. We started with this book called The Women's Wheel of the Year. And that's what all this is based on. So a lot of people, when they're starting out, they only recognize 3 phases of the goddess, like the maiden, the mother, and the crone. But there's really like so many more.
We are more than just 3 things.
We're more than just 3 things. And so it explores all of those different.
And she hooks it up
to the
wheel.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that you can implement it.
There are
and
12
figure it out.
archetypes in the book?
13.
13.
There's the dark.
13.
There's the dark
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
There's the moving through all of this.
Yeah.
But it is a fascinating departure from a lot of the other female empowerment books that are out there.
It really is early feminism. We call it Murphy Brown feminism.
Yeah.
So just be wary of that. But
Prepare yourself.
But other than that, for a book in the 90s, it's still amazing.
It grasped it pretty well and explained it to a modern audience. And it was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
To hear it explained
I
that
forgot
way.
about the Murphy Brown feminism.
Yeah.
I keep hearing
that one chapter was painful.
Oh
we
my
were
God.
all just
my butt was puckered so hard.
Really?
Because she's
just like, give yourself over to your husband's best friend.
Like, and she felt and then when he cheated, she hated herself,
right.
and it was. Anyway,
it was the 90s.
There's a very problematic chapter, but other than that, it is. I'll never. Anyway, we're gonna have a Mabon party later.
Right.
Come and see us next week.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Woo!
Lord have mercy.